Hi, the Tyke from Groovy Entertainment. Happy Hanukkah for anyone that celebrated, and we got a special record for it too. Today's record is the story of Hanukkah for 1978. So let's get started.
I was about 6 years old when I first remember Mother and Grandmother busy putting candles on a giant menorah that sat in a place of honor in the front window of our living room. It was beautiful. It was golden color and filled with 9 brightly colored candles. I had never remembered seeing the candles or the menorah being lit before. As I was a very curious child, I went up to my mother and asked,
What is that for, Mom?
We're getting ready for the holiday.
Oh, holiday? Good. I love holidays.
I did love holidays, especially in my house, for my grandmother was the best cook and baker in the world. She would always outdo herself on holidays. She made the best honey cakes and holly and everything. The kitchen would fill with the smells of holiday food.
What is the name of this holiday, Mother?
Well, dear, it is called Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. Thank you, Mother. Oh, Mother, what kind of a holiday is that?
Well, dear, it is also called the Festival of Lights, and it is a very happy holiday.
Festival of Lights. Is that why you have all these candles?
A candle is lighted for each day of the festival. Now, I'm very busy. Go to your grandfather and ask him to tell you about Hanukkah.
I will. I'll ask Granddaddy.
I ran out of the living room and into the parlor where my grandfather was sitting. Oh, he was a wonderful man. He always had a twinkle in his eye and a smile on his face. He was always one of my very favorite people as I was growing up. He was never too busy to stop whatever he was doing to talk to me.
Grandfather.
What is it, Jenny?
I asked Mother a question, and she was too busy getting ready for Hanukkah. How do you pronounce that word?
Hanukkah.
Yeah, that's right. And so she told me to come to ask you all about it.
Well, what would you want to know?
She said you would tell me just exactly what it means.
Well, it means Festival of Lights, a joyous time.
She said that you would tell me all about it.
Tell you about the holiday? I will be very happy to. You sit here and I'll go to my old book of Jewish holidays. It will tell you everything you want to know about it.
Does it have pictures?
It has a few. Well, Grandfather got out of his seat and walked into the library. I tagged along beside him. It must have had about 1,000 different books
until they were all around the room. The shelves went from the floor to the ceiling, and they were filled with many colored books.
Here it is. I have this book. It was given to me when I was 13, and I have had it ever since.
It looks very old.
It is old, just like me.
Why, you're not old, Grandfather.
Not in your eyes, but I am. Here, I'll sit on this sofa, and you sit next to me.
I did, and Grandfather opened the book. As I recall, on one side of the book there was strange writing, and on the other side there were words in English.
What are all those strange-looking words? I've never seen any letters like that before.
On one side is written in Hebrew, and on the other is in English.
Can you read Hebrew?
Oh, I can, and when you get a little older, you will go to Hebrew school, and then you can read too.
I'll like that.
I will tell you how this holiday came to be. Now, all the Jewish holidays have to do with nature and God and with the growth of crops and the growth of the Jewish people. There is only one holiday that centers around war, and that is this one, Hanukkah.
Really?
This holiday does not celebrate the victory, but the cleansing of the temple and the dedicating of it to God once again. It all happened, let's see, here it is. It all happened about 165 BC.
We must continue fighting. The Syrians have a great army. We must drive them out of our lands and out of our temples of worship. They are pagans and bring their idols into the temples of God.
I, Mattathias, high priest of Modin, agree with Judah Maccabee. We must win over these Syrians, or our way of life will come to an end.
There must be war against the Syrians. They must be driven out of our land.
I do not like the killing, the fighting. Judah, I want the Syrians out without bloodshed.
You, my friend, are a man of peace, a man of God. But our enemies, they do not want peace. They want to destroy the Jewish way of life.
Destroy the Jewish way of life? No, Judah Maccabee, I could never give up my Judaism. My friend, if war and death are the only ways to pay for the right of being a Jew, then it is war and death. Summon all the people of the city. I wish to talk to them in the fields. I want to tell them what we must do. The men came and filled the fields waiting for word, the man that would lead them into war. Soon, at the time when the sun was high in the sky, the speaker came forth and began to say the words that would send so many men into war. We are a peaceful people. Never do we take up the sword willingly.
What do you wish of us? We follow you in whatever you ask.
The Syrians are overrunning our villages, burning and destroying everything in their wake. It must stop.
We will fight them.
We must take up arms and drive them from our lands.
In each city, they destroy our temples.
We must drive them from our land, or they will drive us out and stop us from being Jews.
No one can do that. We will drive them out. No one can stop us from believing in God and praying as we want to. Take up the sword. We will win over the Syrians.
They began to gather in groups and began preparing for the battle that would soon be at hand. Now, in the palace of the king of Syria, the powerful king laughed at the word that his generals were telling him.
They think that they shall win over us?
Yes, they want to drive us out of their land.
That's a deed they can never do. We shall put an end to these people's beliefs. They will all turn to us and believe as we do.
They want us out of their temple.
What? To want us out of their temples?
Yes, there is great unrest, my lord. They call us pagan idol worshippers. They want their temples for themselves.
Ever since we conquered them, our idols have stood in the temples. The Jews during all this time have remained quiet. Why now does this unrest start?
Times change, Your Majesty. They now have young leaders.
Then do away with their leaders. When the Jews see that they cannot fight the Syrian army, then they will fall to their knees and beg me to grant them mercy. And
and more powerful than theirs.
Go. And when you next see me, I want to be told that they have been beaten and that they beg for my mercy.
It shall be done, my king.
Drive me from the land. Drive the Syrians out of Jerusalem? Never. This is now the land of the kingdom of Syria. The Jews will not have this as their homeland again.
Flames of battle began to rage. Yes, arm in arm the two armies fought. The Syrians were greater in number. The Israelites had greater courage. The land called Judah created armies in the hills and mountains of Judea. Arm in arm they fought.
I thought you told me that the Jews would be defeated in a short time.
I did tell you that, Your Majesty.
Then why does this war go on?
They fight arm in arm.
Why have you not defeated them? Well, speak. Tell me, General. Why haven't the mighty armies of the Syrians defeated this puny little army of Jews?
They fight as if they have a mission, Your Majesty.
You too have a mission, General. One that you had better not fail, or us. Do I make myself clear, General?
To my king. We will fight and win. Finally, the war went into the third year. Oh, the land was laid waste from the war. The young leader of the Israelites, Judah, went to his army and spoke.
My men, the war shall soon be at an end. The Syrians will be defeated, and we shall return to our homes and our families. I too look for a day when this will end. The coming winter, our third in the field of battle, will soon come. I promise you that this shall be the last winter of the war.
Oh, and the winter came. It was the coldest and bitterest of the years of war. The Syrians knew that they would soon be defeated. Little did they know that the Israelis were also without supplies, no food, and oil only enough to burn in their lamps for one day. Then a miracle happened. For 8 days. It was truly a miracle.
For 3 years this war has raged. Now I look outside the window, and I see the armies of the Israelites nearly at the gates of Jerusalem. I had vowed that they would never take this city again.
What are we to do, Your Majesty?
Can we keep them out of the city much longer?
No, my king. I think for your own safety that you would better leave Jerusalem and return to Syria.
After 3 years, all has come to an end. My army running and defeated, and me, the king of Syria, turning and running for home. All because of an untrained army of farmers and scholars. Why? How could we have been defeated?
Who knows, Your Majesty? Their guard must be very powerful.
Their god? Our gods are greater and stronger. One day, I will want to learn how they won over us. Tell all in the palace that we are leaving Jerusalem. But I vow, even as I look from this balcony, that the king of Syria will return and take Jerusalem from you!
Oh, the king and his court left Jerusalem. The victorious armies led by Judah of Maccabee entered the great walls of the city.
My people, the Syrians turn and flee our lands. We have won! Thank God we have won! Jerusalem is ours! I want to go and see what the Syrians have done to the great temple here in Jerusalem.
So Judah and his generals rolled to the great temple, and upon entering the great building,
finally we are here.
All because of you.
Not because of me. Because of God. He gave us the courage to fight on, and we must give thanks to him.
So they went up to the center hall of the temple. Judah and his men could not believe what they saw.
The altar. Look there. Look what stands on the stone altar.
We need a statue.
Could be a statue of their king. Look at all the idols that they have left behind. Take them down. Get them out of the temple. They do not belong here.
The soldiers threw down their arms and began to lift the idols and carry them out of the hallowed halls of the temple. The soldiers, after emptying the temple, and the idols began cleaning the temple. Everything that the Syrians left behind was taken out. Soon the priests and the Levites came forward from among the soldiers, and animals were brought to sacrifice to God. All was ready for the services to begin. But something was missing.
A menorah. We do not have a menorah. Prayers cannot begin until we have one.
Yet, as the legend goes, a soldier found 8 iron rods stuck in the wall of the temple.
Joshua, help me pull this rod of iron from the wall. What are you going to do? We will make a menorah from these 8 pieces of iron. I think that they will do very nicely.
And the men made a menorah. It was placed in the temple, and the candles were lit. And on the 25th day of Kislev, 3 years to the day when the temple was taken over by the Syrians, services were held. And each soldier waved a palm branch in his hand instead of a sword. And the Levites sang a song.
I praise you, Lord, for you have saved me, and have not let mine enemies rejoice over me.
So the temple was dedicated, and it was the first Hanukkah. And the words dedicated was set aside for a special purpose means Hanukkah.
I cannot believe that all that really happened.
But it did happen. It was truly a miracle that a small army of Jews could defeat the mighty Syrian Empire. And it was a miracle that the Jews were able to hold on to their victory. Oh, little did the Jews know that the king of Syria was planning another attack, a greater attack.
I shall amass a greater army than the world has ever seen. I will destroy these Jews, and Jerusalem will be mine again.
Just as the old king was planning this great attack, he fell ill and died. The new king of Syria did not want another war with the Jews, so he made a reluctant peace with them.
It was lucky for them. If the war had started all over again, would we have won?
Why, of course we would have, for ours is the way of right.
Grandfather, I have another question to ask you.
Go ahead, Jerry, what is it?
Why do we like the menorah? And why is it so special?
The Hanukkah menorah is important because it is the festival of lights. It was called this long before it became known as the festival of dedication. The lights and candles have always been an important part of the Jewish religion, even when the ancient Hebrews left Egypt and built the tent of meeting. The ark was kept. They also made a great menorah. The Bible tells us that this menorah was a lamp of pure gold, of beaten gold. Even its base and shaft. Let 6 branches go out of the sides, 3 branches out of one side, and 3 branches out of the other. So with the middle shaft, it shall have 7 lamps.
What else happens on Hanukkah?
Well, we give gifts.
We get presents?
Oh, we do.
How come?
We do not know how the tradition started, but until fairly recently in history, only money was given, and then on one night.
Will I get gifts on this holiday?
Oh, you will, and money too. We will have a wonderful time.
Well, what have you been doing?
Grandfather was telling me all about Hanukkah.
Father, have you told Jerry about the dreidel?
Dreidel? Oh, no, how could I forget that?
Dreidel? What's a
A
dreidel?
dreidel is a top. It has Hebrew letters on it. The letters are Nun, Gimel, Hai, and Shin.
What do they mean?
They mean...
Oh, Father, I think I remember. They mean Nis, Gadol, Chaya, Shah.
But what does that mean?
It means a great miracle happened there.
The dreidel is used in a game where everyone puts some pennies or nuts in the middle of the table. Then each spin the dreidel in turn. If the nun turns up, it means nothing, the player gets nothing. If the gimel turns up, it means ganz or full. The player takes everything on the table. Now if the high turns up, the player takes half. And if the shin turns up, it means to put in or more on the table.
Will I get to play with the dreidel too?
We all will, dear.
Now I think I have told you nearly everything about Hanukkah.
I'm glad you told me. I can't wait for it to start.
The first night comes tomorrow, and you can light the candles.
Really? I've never done that before.
Well, you are old enough now.
I can hardly wait.
Today, some people try to say that Hanukkah shows that the Jews were a warring people. Oh, they were not. The Jews through the ages have thought that war was a waste. The great Jews were not warriors, but scholars, men of learning, lawgivers, wise men. In fact, in over 1,500 years, there have only been 4 great generals among the Jews. Some people in history try to say that the holiday celebrates a war of independence. It does not. They never fought a war over politics. They paid all the taxes the Syrian king wanted. It was only when he interfered with their belief, their worship, their religion that the Jews fight. It was a war to allow them to worship as they believed. During early history, the Jews lived under many kings, princes, dukes, governors, and presidents, and they all lived peacefully with him. Only when the freedom of religion was interfered with did the Jews fight. This freedom of religion was given to the world by the Jews, and we remember them, what they did for us so long ago on our Hanukkah.
So that was the story of Hanukkah for 1978. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, and have a groovy day with another video coming out real soon.